What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the AK Show, the podcast with your boy A the Ref. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody has had a fabulous week so far. This is dropping tonight on Sunday. I will make sure of it. It might be late tonight, but if you're first catching this tomorrow, I hope you have a great start to your week on Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I really do appreciate it. Before we even get into this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to all the listeners out there on the YouTube page. Man, we here and we gonna get it because you know what we talking about today. I'm giving my Fantastic Four first steps review. Note, this is a spoiler review. So if you've not seen the Fantastic Four first steps yet, I advise you to click off. Come back later after you've watched it, and then you can get my review because this is a spoiler review. I don't want to do a spoiler free. I mean, the movie's been out a few weeks already. I mean, there's always that thing where people say, you gotta wait at least like a week or two before we can start spoiling stuff. You motherfuckers were spoiling stuff before I even got a chance to see it because we saw it Friday. The Friday it came out. Yeah, that Friday it came out. People were already spoiling, like shit was on Facebook. Like, people, you have to at least wait a week. At least. I was like, okay, I can't be on social media right now because what the fuck are we doing? Like, come on. But today, I'm going to give my spoiler review. That means, if you don't know what that means I'm giving my review. So I'm going to talk about stuff that happened in the movie. So like I said, if you have yet to see Fantastic Four First Steps, I advise you to click away because it will be spoilers. So let's get started. Listen, all I gotta say is about the Fantastic Four is I really enjoyed this movie. I did. I think it was the most refreshing Marvel film we've had in a few years. I mean, all the Marvel movies are the same, and like I said, I've enjoyed every single one of them, but this one was a little bit different. It still feels connected to the MCU in the sacred timeline, but it's got its own unique tone, and for me, that was different. That was a big win. I really enjoyed that. I feel like it's its own movie away from like the sacred timeline. So that's where I really think it was different, and I enjoyed that. Now before we get into all the action and those big spoiler moments, let's set the stage. We gotta set the stage. We're gonna move through this, right? So here's the thing. Before this movie, I really didn't know much about the Fantastic Four. Like I said, I didn't get into this Marvel stuff, the MCU, until I started watching Iron Man. Like, even before Iron Man, I watched Spider-Man. I watched Blade, but I didn't watch the Fantastic Four movies when they came out. Like, the first one came out in 2005. I didn't watch the sequel. I didn't watch the Fantastic Four when they did the remake of it. I had never seen any of those movies. It's like I've never seen any X-Men movies or any of them. Like, I started getting more into it when Iron Man came out, but I was definitely watching Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and then the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. But like, I had never seen that. But I'm still an MCU fan. I didn't grow up on the comic book, so I don't know much about the Fantastic Four and their superpowers and the characters. So this was really my first deep dive into the team. And I must say, after watching the first steps, I went back probably the next day and I watched the Fantastic Four from 2005. You know, with Jessica Alba, Chris Evans as a Firestorm. And I watched that. I was like, I really dig that. I really did. I haven't gone and watched the sequel yet, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, or the remake of the Fantastic Four where they got a new cast. But I went back and I was like, okay, I gotta go watch the other ones. I just want to watch the other ones, but I am going to watch the other one. Oh, but that's how much this movie made me. It pulled me in. It made me want to go back and watch the other ones. And I had to explore the team's history to know what all the characters are about in what the Fantastic Four, because I really didn't know. I really didn't. And the big part that hooked me this time around, it was the cast. Like I said, I wasn't really into it, and I'm into the MCU, but I thought the cast was great. I thought Marvel got it right. And I know everybody's tired of Pedro Pascal, but because he feels like he's in everything now. You know, he's in this. I know he was in Wonder Woman, 1985, was it? And then he's in The Last of Us. You see him in that. I get it. People may be sick of it already, then getting fatigued. I don't mind it. I don't get that away with people. Like, if I keep seeing people in movies, like, if they're good at what they do, I'm not going to complain. So I think him as Reed Richards, I thought he brought that perfect mix of calm intellect, subtle leadership, and emotional depth. I really thought he was really good as Reed Richards. I really don't have anything to base that off of except me just watching this movie and just be like, I know he's a fabulous actor. I know he's going to kill it. And then you had Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. Strong, compassionate, deliverance. She delivered some of the most powerful lines in the film. And the most powerful lines and the most powerful scenes, I feel like, were her, along with Julia Garner, who we'll get to in a minute. But she had some of the most powerful emotional beats in the movie. And then you had Ebon Moss as Ben Grimm, full of grit, heart, and just enough humor to balance the heavier motives, especially with him and Johnny Storm. That brings me to my next point. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm brought the perfect combination of cocky, charm, and reckless energy. And I went after this movie, I went back and watched the 2005 Fantastic Four, and Chris Evans is wild. Chris Evans is fucking wild. But Joseph Quinn brings his own. They're two distinct, so I liked them both. And then that brings me next to the Silver Surfer, Julia Garner. I thought she was fantastic, mysterious, layered, and absolutely magnetic on screen. You see Julia Garner pull up as the Silver Surfer, and you be like, damn, ain't nobody stopping her. And her board is not part of her body. It's not connected to her body. You know what I'm talking about. And then we got to talk about Galactus. I mean, that looked incredible. He was massive, intimidating, and exactly how you want it to look on the big screen. You want something that big gigantic person, that villain that wants just the eater of worlds. That's exactly how I was like when they showed like the preview in trailers, like they showed the shadow. I was like, I can't wait to see this on screen. And then you see him on screen, and then you see when he gets to Earth. It's like amazing. You're just looking up at the big screen because we watched it in XD at the Cinemark. It's like great, but as a great cast, and that brings me to the next point. A great cast needs a great story to work with, and I feel like this one has some big surprises, right? You had the cosmic setting was great. You know, it was set in the 60s. I think the stakes were higher than what I didn't really know. The stakes were high because you had fucking Galactus. Aside from Galactus, the stakes were higher more in a personal way, right? It just wasn't just save the world. It was like, it got personal, right? The team discovers that to stop Galactus, he wants baby Franklin, which is Reed Richards and Sue Storm's newborn baby. And if they sacrifice Franklin, Galactus will be like, cool, I won't destroy your Earth, your world, right? So you had that. There's more. It was to save the world, but it's like, we gonna save our child. We're not giving our child up. And the people wanted them to. It was like, you're not gonna sacrifice your baby to save the world. The people were. I was like, really? People be like that, right? And that's heavy, and that adds that emotional tension that hung over the entire movie when we found that part out after they came back to Earth after basically battling Galactus in a way and the Silver Surfer. When they got back to Earth, it was like, fuck, that's a heavy moment. And you could see it in Pascal as Reed and Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. You could see that fear, that pain, that desperate hope. Like, can they find another way? And you always saw in Reed Richards in the movie, like, I think we just might have to do it. Like, he's thinking it, and Sue's like, why are you even thinking about that? Because he's the type, I think of every possibility, and then that's why he's the leader of the Fantastic Four and maybe integral part in Doomsday and Secret Wars. Can't wait for that, but then I'll get to that in another minute, right? And I think then I thought one of the cool moments was them tricking the Silver Surfer when they were trying to get back home, and they had her thinking they were going straight into, was it the sun, I believe? And they pulled part of their machine that away, and she's following it, and she falls right into there. And they were like, well, she'll be lost in there for a month. I thought that was just a perfect case of being like, we're going to use our intellect and we're going to outsmart this person because we cannot defeat the Silver Surfer because she's sitting here fucking going through fucking the ship and shit and trying to grab the baby. I mean, I just thought it was great, right? And then another moment I thought was cool. It was when Sue Storm at the end, when they're trying to push Galactus through the fucking portal, and she sees that Galactus has her baby Franklin, and Reed's trying to get to the baby, right, to save him, and she uses that mom strength, like, you are not fucking doing this shit today. I'm pushing you with all my fucking. She used that mom strength, right, and pushes Galactus into the portal, but then he starts to break out, and then you see Silver Surfer, boom, but. After Johnny Storm was about to take and just sacrifice his own life, to push him through. Silver Surfer knocks him out of the way. Boom, pushes him the rest of the way. Right, but just that moment with Sue Storm pushing Galactus, you can see it. She's using all her might. She basically fucking killed herself. Really, she killed herself trying to do it. You see that raw, emotional, and it's just powerful. That's a powerful scene. That was a powerful scene. That scene and the one where she's talking to the people outside the Fantastic Four building, where she's talking about like, we are going to save you. I'm not sacrificing my child. We will find a way to save you. And I just thought those two moments were very fucking right. And just when you think the emotional gut punches were over, right, this movie hit you with another one, right? Because after the moment Sue Storm uses all her might to fucking try to push Galactus through the portal, right? You see that moment, right? In the movie, Franklin is just showing just how powerful he really is and why Galactus wanted him, because Galactus got tired of doing what he's doing. He was always hungry. He wanted to eat worlds. And he saw the power and the potential in Franklin. Is like, I can get this kid to take over for me and I can just go live out my life, right? And you see that moment after Sue Storm uses all her fucking power and all her might, she's gone and she's not waking up. Nah, baby Franklin's like, nah, I got this. He's like, I ain't having this. I don't accept this. So you just see him use his raw power, cosmic energy that radiates from him, and just in that almost impossible display of power, he brings his mom back to life. He's like, we ain't having this. Mom coming back to life. And you just saw in that moment, that changes everything. And it wasn't just about, oh, he's got a cool power move moment, right? It's like, shit, the team realizes Franklin isn't just special. He might be the most powerful fucking being in the universe. And for us as viewers, it raises tons of questions. What does this mean for the future of the MCU, right? What will this cost him? And who's going to try to use that power for their own gain? Because you saw Galactus, but who else is going to use that power, right? That's the key. So we're going to see where that goes in the future when we get to Doomsday and Secret Wars, right? And speaking of power, let's talk about the action, right? I know the action was limited. It wasn't your normal Marvel movie, but I got to give credit where credit is due, right? I thought the action that they did have in the Fantastic Four First Steps, it was fantastic. It really was. It was more, the story of this movie is more emotional than anything, but the action scenes they did have, I thought it was fabulous. Right, high-speed cosmic chases in space, on Earth. You know, you got one-on-one battles. Basically, the team versus Galactus, them battling the Silver Surfer, right, with the team fights and everybody using all their power on display. Richard Stretching, Sue Storm using her power, Firestorm using his power, Ben Grimm using his strength. I mean, they're all working as a team because Silver Surfer's fucking just got power like no others. Like, she's fast, moving, and just it's hard to keep track. And she can reach through things, and you got this fucking giant tall Galactus. I just thought it was great, right? And then you got Johnny Storm's aerial combat sequences were flashy and fun. You got Ben Grimm's hand-to-hand brawls had real weight to them. Reed Richards, like I said, it was using his creativity and stretching, and then you get Sue Storm's force field wasn't just defense. She was using it to control the flow. Like I said, she was using it to push Galactus through the fucking portal, so blocking enemies and slamming them into each other. They're all working together as a team, which they're going to need when we get to the future of what's going to happen later, and what happens in Avengers Doomsday. And like I said, the Silver Surfer, I thought Julia's Garner action scenes were jaw-dropping, right? I thought her, maneuvering on the board, through astro fields, weaving through cosmic debris, and going through the Fantastic Four ship. She has that power, and it was just very stunning. Like, she used her speed, precision, and presence, right, to disorientate the Fantastic Four and stay one step ahead of them. Like, it was like, how do we defeat this person? And that's when they out-tricked her to get lost for a month so they could make it back to Earth safely, right? And like I said, when Johnny Storm attempts to sacrifice himself, here comes Silver Surfer and pushes Galactus into the portal. It's Shalla-Bal who stops him in the end, takes that one final step that the team needed, right, and pushing Galactus through the porter herself and disappearing along with the Galactus, right? It's that bold, like I said, it's moments like that are the selfless moments that add so much depth to her character. Every time she was in motion, the movie felt like a living piece of art. Fast, fluid, and ultimately unforgettable. You don't forget her. You really see her performance and be like, yeah, that was badass, right? That was a badass woman. I like Julia Garner. She's really good at what she does. I know some people I didn't like the casting. I don't know. I'm just enjoying it. I just enjoy everything Marvel does, like I said before, right? So I'm here for it. But after all the spectacle, Marvel still found a way. Yeah, they still find a way to drop the bombshell before the credits rolled. Mid-credit scene, what do we get? We get that Sue Storm is reading a book to Franklin. He's like, I want to read the other book. She goes into the other room to find the book that he wants. She hears something. She comes back. She comes back, starts peeking around the corner where Franklin's sitting, and all you see is the green cape, dark green cape with the mask. Me and my oldest daughter. So here's the thing. I'm sitting here. My youngest is here, oldest is here. Me and my oldest are like the Marvel geeks in the house, right? And as soon as we saw the mask and that cape, we knew it was Dr. Doom. We started pushing each other like, I almost hit my youngest daughter that's sitting in the middle. I was like, we were losing our fucking minds. I was like, this is great. I was like, that was perfectly executed. That really had me and my oldest daughter just pumped up excited. Like we were just hitting each other like, yeah, let's go. Right? And I tell you this, it hit me after we were leaving the movie theater. I have a theory. In Thunderbolts end credit scene, at the end, they notice something coming from space, and the ship turns and it shows the Fantastic Four logo. And we're like, what the fuck is the Fantastic Four? Shit. So my thinking in this movie, before we even got to the mid-credit scene, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to show how the Fantastic Four get to that timeline on Earth's, is it 616, I believe? The sacred timeline. But then we see this mid-credit scene, and it's Dr. Doom sitting with Franklin, baby Franklin, kid Franklin at the time, Tyler Franklin. And we're like, so I was like, wait a minute. So, and then I had this theory. I think Doom, so the ship we see in the end of Thunderbolts in the mid-credit scene, I think it's Doom and Franklin on that ship going to that timeline. And so we'll find out later on in Avengers Doomsday how the Fantastic Four get there. And we'll probably find out if Doom and Franklin are on that ship and how that ship ended up there. I'd put $20 on it. Okay, I'm not going to put up a whole bunch of money, but I really do believe that's Doom, Dr. Doom, and Franklin on the ship that you see in Thunderbolts. You don't know who's on it, but I think it's them. It's got to be them. It only makes sense. Now seeing the end credit scene for Fantastic Four First Steps, that makes the most sense. Because if it's them, that opens so many possibilities. Like I said, it's like, how did they get there? How did they get to the main timeline? And then you want to find out, okay, what's Doom want with Franklin? We know he's got power, but what's he going to use it for? So is Franklin going to be a major player in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars? So I just, like, Marvel just out here dropping breadcrumbs, getting you fucking ready. They are getting us ready for Avengers Doomsday. Because the next movie that comes out is not until, what, Brand New Day? Spider-Man next July? That's the next movie. So we're here for it. Honestly, I'm here for it. I'm fucking ready. But before we wrap things up, overall, Fantastic Four First Steps, it really worked for me. I really fucking enjoyed it. I thought it was fresh. I thought it was different, emotional, and it had the kind of stakes that just go beyond just trying to save the world and punching the bad guy. It had that personal feel to it. And I thought the cast was pitch perfect. The visuals were gorgeous. And I thought the setup for the MCU's future is seriously exciting. I really do. Because, I mean, yeah, we're getting out of the multiverse, which people fucking hate for some fucking reason. I just sit back and enjoy it. Just fucking enjoy it. Right? And if this is our first steps with Marvel's first family, technically, if you want to watch all the movies timeline-wise, you would start with Wakanda. You would start with the Wakanda animation series, Eyes of Wakanda, and then you would go to First Steps. But I'm all in for this journey. I can't wait to see what happens. Like I said, we got the next movie. We got Spider-Man Brand New Day, and that's already filming. And then you have Avengers Doomsday, and then the next Avengers movie after that is Secret Wars. I don't know what. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really looked at the phases of the movie releases. I'm not sure what's after Avengers Doomsday. I'm just excited for what's going to happen in the next 17 months. So I'm just excited. One more thing before I go. I follow this person on Instagram. He's an entertainment person. He's always doing always a big Marvel fan. He's got his own podcast, does his own stuff on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram. He came out with this calendar to watch everything Marvel in the Marvel timeline from. It has a whole calendar. It's You supposed to, he put it like what you're supposed to watch, when you're supposed to watch it, up until Avengers Doomsday, right? I think it was Big Breaking on. Let me find him. Yeah, this guy, right? This, if you can see this, oh my god, you can't see it, right? Big Breaking, Big Screen Birkin, right? You follow him on Instagram. That's a good follow if you want to. He always talking about movies and things like that, but like a lot of Marvel stuff. I mean, he's just a fan of movies. He's he's a social media creator, right? But he's always talking like movies and things like that. But he made this calendar and I downloaded it, and you're supposed to watch everything. There's like, I'm talking about everything. I'm not just talking about MCU stuff. There's X-Men, there's Blade, there's, I don't know if the other Fantastic Four movies are on there. They might be, right? Like literally everything. And I think it started August 1st. So August 1st, you're supposed to start with Eyes of Wakanda, the animated series. And then you're supposed to move on to, I want to say, I think it's Avengers. Not the first Avenger, Captain America. So I take that back about, yeah, Captain America, the first Avenger, and then you start off with Agent Carter, and then somewhere after that. And you don't start off with the whole Agent Carter. You start off with like a couple episodes here. So this week, if I got to catch up with it, because I just got done finishing Eyes of Wakanda, I have to, I need, like a week ago, I think I already watched Captain America, First Avenger. So now I got to get started on Agent Carter again. And then you just move through the whole thing, and it has to like spread out. Like you're watching like 3 things a week. Like I think this past Monday you're supposed to be on Captain America First Avenger, then Agent Carter season 1, like episode 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, and then on Friday you're supposed to watch another parts of Agent Carter, and then I think it's like, why I think he has like broken down like 3 things a week. You know what? I'm actually going to leave the link in the description to this calendar for Big Screen Breaking. Go give him a follow because he's everything Marvel is fucking fantastic. He's got great content. Always be laughing. Anything I see, I share with my daughter of his. But yeah, shout out to him because this calendar is great. It's to watch everything. He's like, you have 17 months to watch all this to get ready for Avengers Doomsday, because that is where it is. Because we are excited for it. Victor Von Doom! I'm so happy. I'm screaming, but I'm here for it. Probably next episode, I'm gonna get out of here. Next episode, I think I'm gonna go over Ironheart. I know a lot of people that got a lot of hate, and I don't know why. I know why. We all know. Come on, you all know it's a female led character. They always be getting hate, and I have no idea, right? And fucking Ironheart was fantastic. I could really relate to that shit. I could relate to it, right? Listen, it's a black female lead. I fucking loved it. I can relate to it. That's part of my heritage, part of my culture. Like I can relate to that. And I fucking loved it. And that would probably be the next episode. Just give a quick review. Won't even be that long. I'll give a solid review of Ironheart, and I fucking loved it. Loved all of it. I fucking loved it, and I want to see more of it, because I don't think there's gonna be a season 2. But I hope we get to see more Ironheart in the future in the MCU on the big screen. So I'm excited. But that's all I got for today. Like I said, I will drop a link to that calendar in the description. So if you want the calendar, you want to watch everything through again, like I'm even telling you, it's got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's got X-Men, it's got Blade. I think it has the other Fantastic Four movies. I'm pretty sure it does. The other 3, the one, yeah. It's got everything. Like it's got the TV shows, it's got the movies, it's got everything Marvel has done in the MC. It's got the Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland's first 3, and then Brand New Day, I know, comes out, but it even has an order to watch it. I think you're supposed to watch it closer to Avengers Doomsday. So eventually, we're gonna see that in the movie theater, but I'm gonna watch it again. I'm going to follow this whole calendar, but I will drop the link in the calendar. That's all I got for today. Football season's here. Chiefs had their first preseason game. I can't wait to get into football season. People losing their mind over the last episode I did when I said Mahomes is already the GOAT. TikTok was losing their fucking mind, and I fucking love it. And I just realized you could upload 60-minute videos to TikTok, right? You could upload 60-minute videos to TikTok if you're on the desktop. So like a laptop or a computer. I don't think you can do it through your phone. But I was like, oh shit, I might start, if it doesn't take too long, I might upload episodes to TikTok, full episodes. I think I might start with the Mahomes one and then just move forward with this one and so on. I might try to re-upload everything that I got on YouTube. I didn't know you could do that. I was like, wait, you can upload 60-minute video? Because usually my podcast is like 30 minutes, 30-ish minutes. But like I said, thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, the text message. Like, share, comment on what you thought of the Fantastic Four and what you're excited for in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because I know we got Wonder Man coming out later this year in the winter. I want to say December. I'm excited to see that. Another thing that's coming out, November, December, split into 2 parts. It's fucking Stranger Things. I'm fucking excited about that. I know it's been a minute. People probably lost, but I'm ready to see it. I want to see the final thing. I want to see what the fuck happens and how it all ends. But I'm out. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, Fantastic Four. Peace.